And there you
Eastern.
go. Let's see here. Let's give us a minute to invite people so they can join.
I'm waiting for mine to go live for me to see it, but then I got distracted by a guy who just got a cat, adopted him.
And that's funny.
Well, that's what happened with us with our first cat. The cat adopted us, and he
The
just
cat
made the
adopted
biggest
you.
mistake. Yeah, he's feeding the cat. And that's now his cat. All right, let's get us
Right.
going here. All right, I see us streaming. You know, the pre-show, people should love the pre-show because you never know what we may talk about.
I know. That's the crazy thing about the pre-show. It's pre and it's free.
Exactly. Yeah, it's free. We're not charging you anything yet.
That's right. That is correct. That is
Let
correct.
me, I already shared it. Let me share with my people. Now, while you're on the pre-show, you know, this is a good time to share this here and like, follow, subscribe,
Yeah, the
send us lunch.
first 5 minutes is us just in the pre-show, and then
Right.
we will start talking about what we're talking about today.
Right, and people may notice that I'm actually downstairs in the I call it studio office, Studio A. My guy is here, and I didn't want to stop him working, so I said, "Hey, you know, just come. I'll turn on clarity, and you can hammer all day. Nobody hear it. I got a fan that's blaring. My wife is watching TV. Air conditioner's on, and no one hears it.
And I don't have anything on as far as clarity, so I don't know if you guys heard
Oh,
that
yeah.
paper rip.
I heard that.
So
You won't even hear that.
it's
I can
lunch,
probably drop a can. Let me see.
it's lunchtime
Yeah.
live, man. We streaming live for lunch, and I'm having lunch today. So we have to start bringing our lunch for lunchtime live, and then we can talk about what we're having for lunch.
Does cleaning spray count as lunch?
Well, I don't recommend eating cleaning spray. So anybody out there who may have cleaning spray, please don't eat it.
I have apple cider vinegar. I mean,
There you go,
things you
ACV.
find in the office.
There
Things
you
you find
go.
in the office. I got some morning kick over there too.
Some morning kick. All right.
And today
think
we're
I need to
using
get
our
my camera in
Samsung.
focus.
Yeah, today we're using our my Samsung C01U Pro USB microphone, and this nice little Licato, in-ear monitor receiver, and the transmitter is actually on the microphone. So it's a nice little configuration on the lower level studio, and this is the first time it's been live down here.
I'm gonna do a little trick here in a minute. So for those of you that are on vMix, you can use the little snapshot tool to grab a snapshot,
Take a picture.
and then you can take a
a picture.
picture, and then you can input the picture back into your production. And if you need to step away for a minute,
Exactly.
guess what you could do? You can step
You-
away. And
And you're frozen. Like,
there you go. You know, you could do the same thing with video, right?
oh yeah.
You can create a video and put it on a loop. I've done that. I'm giving away my secrets. I've done that while I've been on calls, and literally stepped away and came back to the call. But I was always listening. But that's the benefit of using vMix with Zoom.
Yes, and then also if you have in-ear monitors that are wireless, you can go anywhere in the house, and if you have a wireless microphone, you can tie that into your vMix. They'll just, they'll see you sitting there, but you're moving. You're talking, but your lips aren't moving. So, I'm just delayed. And to jump
you-
back in your seat. They will never know.
That is so funny. So watch this. See, there we go. That's us frozen, but we still talking.
I feel so frozen. I feel so frozen right now.
That's. Oh my goodness, man. This is fun.
Pre-show antics.
That's right. That's right. The pre-show.
And you don't even hear my guy hammering upstairs, which is so fun.
There we go. So I guess we ought to go ahead and get started. It's 12:06.
Yeah, let's get this party started. Yeah, they had enough fun with us.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for
They
joining
want
us
the real information.
once again on the vMix workflow production. Streaming Maniacs, we're talking about vMix, and we're talking about workflow today. And so we're going to have our intro, and then after our intro, which is 10 seconds long, then we're going to get right into it.
All right.
I moved my inputs around, and so I had Darnell on the full screen, but when I moved them to input number 3, it changed. That's something they should change. Like when you move it, if you have an input that's on your output, on your full screen, when you move it to a different selection, it should automatically adjust. Just a shout out to vMix, something I just came up with in real time. I think you guys should do. All right, here we go. All right, you're live with the guys that's called and known as the Streaming Maniacs, Michael and Darnell. Today we are talking about building your workflows in vMix. You can have a very simple workflow, or you can have a very elaborate workflow. And we'll throw in some pro tips for today. I had a call yesterday, Darnell, and it was about workflows. It was a guy that called, and he was trying to figure out with his camera vMix that he's running on a Mac, and then also he's actually a pastor, and he was running it on his Mac, and he was trying to figure out how to enhance his workflow with some of the tools that he was using. So we kind of talked a little bit about that, and then after clarifying a few things, I was able to maybe provide some help. So I thought it would be good for us to talk about workflows, because obviously they can be extremely elaborate or they could be really simple. So Darnell has some workflows that he's going to show, and before we get into it, I'll say this real quick. Today I have a 2-camera setup, both Canon cameras, and they are Canon mirrorless cameras, and set up on tripods in front of my desk. And I have 2 monitors. One of my monitors, I'm using 2 Magewell capture cards. I'm using a Magewell 4K capture card, which has a throughput, which that throughput I'm running out to the monitor over to my left. And then my full screen monitor is coming directly from vMix via HDMI. And then I have the other Magewell, which is just a 1080p Magewell HDMI capture card. So both of those are HDMI capture cards, and the 4K capture card, it does have a little bit more functionality because you can actually plug a headphone into it. So if you wanted to listen back to yourself through that, let's just say you were just using a simple laptop, and it has a mic input where you could put a 3.5 millimeter input in there as well. So you could literally use that to get good audio, video, and listen back to what's coming out and run it out to a monitor. So as a single source solution, that is a multi-faceted device that'll help you, with your streaming. So anyway, Darnell, we're talking about workflows, and that was kind of a quick rundown for what my setup is today. And we're using vMix Call. So I'll turn it over to you.
And I zoomed out accidentally. My bad. Let me let's get to seeing all my mess. I did not mean to do that. Sorry.
That's what happens when you live, man. When you're live, and you could just, we can't take that out in post. Anyway, I'm going back to Darnell zoomed in.
Hold on. Let me.
There we go. Hey, this is my second camera, and I am rocking a golf shirt today because yesterday we went to play a little golf too, and me and 2 really good friends, we went to hang out and hit some golf balls, and so we had a good time doing that. And I should show some photos of how bad I did out there on the golf course, but it was not too bad. Say again,
I can't believe I just did that. I can't believe I just did that.
I can, because when you live, guess what? Anything is possible. So anything goes.
So I'm trying. I was trying to hit a button because I just realized I was in flip mode, and I was like, hey, you know what? This is not set right. I don't like the logos being backwards. So of course, me not paying attention to what I was hitting, I hit a button, and I guess we're gonna see a little bit more than I want to see. But it's not responding to my zoom command here.
Oh yeah.
So let's do this. Let's go into setup. See, this is what happens when you're.
I'm gonna put that on the screen so they can actually see what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm adjusting my setups here, and this is a Nexigo PTZ camera. As you can see, my mess over here. So I did not mean for y'all to see all this, but it is what it is, and we're going to go on ahead here and. I hit this little button on here, and it's one of those things like, oops, did I just do that? I hit this auto framing button. So you can come back to me go back to you real quick, because I'm about to turn it off.
All right. There we go. And we're back. We're taking a water break. No, I'm just joking.
Zoom back in. I got control again.
There you go. Look at that.
Yes, now I'm back. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that happened.
Nice and tight, man.
My wife's gonna get me for that. I showed y'all all our, I'm cleaning up our organizing, so that's why it looks like a tornado hit it. It was, hey, it is what it is.
Well, yeah. So, plus y'all doing some remodel stuff as well. So
yeah, we're doing remodeling. So I got stuff that should be upstairs, downstairs, and. Then we got remodeling going on in the basement. That's been a 4-year project. Actually, it's been 2 years. So I got stuff that's supposed to be in the basement up here. So there's a lot of stuff that's not supposed to be up here that's up here. But let's get into the workflows.
Let's get into
now what I have here. So what I have here is on my setup, as I said in the pre-show, I have a Samsung. I got to look at it. C01U Pro USB microphone. I'm using Waves plugins for what's called the Clarity plugin from waves.com. So you don't hear hammering, you don't hear the fan, you don't hear anything. I just got to be closer to the mic. In front of me, I have a Field World little monitor and, of course, a TCL big screen and my laptop. So my laptop feeds to TCL, and I have a splitter that splits it to the little monitor right in front of me. And I'm using a Nexigo PTZ camera. As you already saw how nice it just pushing the wrong buttons, and it just went sideways on us. I have a couple setups that I use. I'm gonna show a couple of them here from various productions I've been on. This is from a production I did in Philadelphia with Apostle Michael Jones. We did a live event, and we also had to feed a sound to the room because we had a person vMix call in, just like we're doing here. And so there I have a PAL mixer. We won't talk about that mixer. May it rest in peace. And that PAL mixer was USB, and it fed right into the laptop, and the laptop basically was controlling it. Like I said, may it rest in peace. It was a nice little mixer. I replaced the power supply, and I guess it just didn't like the replacement power supply, so it smoked out on me. Wow. Yeah, it wasn't a pleasant smell. Then right in the smoke. But right here, the next setup we have is the setup that's used to be here, down here. This is using my X Keys switcher, as you can see there, and a Stream Deck. So that's the configuration that used to be down here when we first set up the lower level before I think this is about maybe 2 or 3 years ago, we had this setup going. Then we're going to go to our current setup where you normally see me every week for the last few weeks. That's upstairs. We keep everything covered again because construction is going on. So this is before the floor has gone in, but that's the configuration I have upstairs. And this is a nice little configuration. It's a 2-person setup. We have a PTZ camera there. upstairs, and we have our 2 microphones, hers and mine. And it's a nice setup. We're using wall washing lights. They're called wall washers. So we got 2 different types there. But once everything is done up there, that studio is that's where everything happens. And, it's pretty much the home base for a lot of our stuff. And like I said, this is some more pictures of it under construction. That's the PTZ camera in front of us. Now, vMix does use an Xbox controller. You can use the Xbox controller for things such as controlling the PTZ camera. You can do other cool stuff with it. And so that's really set up for my PTZ camera. Up there, you can see my in-ear monitor, also known as IEMs. And this is the configuration before we've been updating. And that's pretty much, again, we're a Samson audio microphone house. So everything we use here is Samson, and it's a really good system, audio system, and I actually like it. And now we're going to go back to one of my favorite setups. This is at the Impact Network, one of the setups I have there. Here I have my laptop with me because I'm logged in literally to the Sanctuary computer. I was in the studio doing work. And this is the workflow I have when we're streaming live. I'm now back into the room in our main control room at the church. So, but this is how it was when I did my configuration remote. Again, you see Stream Deck. The Stream Deck, that computer that has the YouTube information, that actually is also a vMix computer. That one was built by Above the Cloud, just to let you know. It's an i9, and it's a workhorse. It's a really good machine. Right there, we also use Stream Deck Mobile, so I can control the Stream Deck in the other building because we have a shared internet. So everything in our facilities are connected together. And then we're going to go back to Philadelphia again. This configuration is from last year. And no, that water is not dirty. That's actually my morning kick water, and the morning kick settled to the bottom. And that's the configuration I had there. Now, the gray laptop controls the PTZ camera. I also had another camera that really didn't give me the image I wanted, so I eventually ended up using my cell phone. That camera is the one that's located directly in the middle between the 2 computers. There's an AMU's audio device. And then, of course, my iPad for monitoring the stream return, and my plug bay power strip, which is when you're on the road, get a power strip that can handle everything. And that power strip is key. It handles everything I can do. It has USB charging ability, as well as a couple other features in there. Behind the gray laptop is the network system for the network. It's a network router. That actually communicates to the PTZ camera, as well as it's a power injector that powers the PTZ camera. So I'm only sending 2 lines down, Ethernet and the video line. So that way I don't have to worry about somebody unhooking the power because it's power over Ethernet. When you get a PTZ camera, and if you're out in the field, I recommend getting a power over Ethernet system and then getting the proper tools for the PoE, as it's also called. That saves you just running 2 lines down. You don't have to worry about somebody unplugging your camera while you're in production, which is not fun at all. The greatest thing about using your laptop, as long as your batteries work, if somebody unplugged the power on there, at least your laptop is still going. But if you're really concerned, you can always get yourself a battery backup for your gigs and have everything plugged into that, so somebody unplugs it. So in this case, my power cord, you can see that on the far right. That's where I'm plugged in at. However, again, you can always, if you're concerned, in this case, I actually have to fly all this stuff. All the stuff is flown from here in the suburban Detroit area I fly it to Philadelphia. So it's packed in a suitcase. And all this fits in one suitcase, one laptop case, and a backpack. So that's all this equipment. The next configuration we have here is the configuration that we did for the late Bishop Brian Jones, who recently just passed. We just had his homegoing service yesterday. In this configuration here, we were using vMix primarily for recording and monitoring. There was a couple other things. In this situation, I was actually logged in monitoring my feeds here at home. I believe I was monitoring Cashmere TV, so formerly known as B2 TV. In this configuration, we're shooting with two Blackmagic SICK Pocket Cinema 6Ks. Our audio is going into actually a Blackmagic the switcher. We're going to a Blackmagic switcher, ISO Pro. Well, yeah, the ISO Pro Mini, and the audio is being captured by the Tascam recorder, which is we have nice Comrex wireless microphones. So we record the audio separately as well as feed the Blackmagic switcher, and then we monitor everything back onto the laptop. So we use a lot of batteries when we're in the field. That monitor there that you see is also another one of our field world monitors. I have about, I think, 3 in my fleet of monitors. And what you see right there is me monitoring the countdown timer, which is one of the timers that we use. Impact uses that same timer for Miracles Do Happen. That's one of the timers that was developed by Total Pulse Innovations. And then our next thing is going back to Impact. I'm almost done, everybody. This workflow right here, again, is using the X keys. Now, the X keys, since the main system here is currently down in the lower level where I do a lot of my productions, is downstairs when I'm doing stuff if I don't have to be on camera. So since we moved everything out upstairs, the X keys is staying downstairs. I had the ability to have 13 different inputs going to the switcher, 13 different layered graphics. And on this configuration you see here, I have 3 layers programmed in: layer 1, 2, and I believe the other one is 4. And so I can bring up the layer. One is preview, so it's actually preview, layer 1, layer 2. And then, so that's the configuration for that switcher. The X key switcher, once you move into X keys, there's a lot of different power that you get with that for productions. It's just like sitting in a regular control room, and you can actually do your work and get things done. During the pandemic, the X keys was really key to getting a lot of production done, and it was really a good tool to have. And so I still use it. It's just right now until we get our new computer built for production. It will be back in use prayerfully by the end of this year. Again, this is the configuration that we had at a facility in Atlanta, in Georgia. We had exactly a year ago this week, today. We were doing prayer service down there in Atlanta. In this, I'm downstream from the Blackmagic switcher. And what we did here, again, you see the PAL mixer, which was feeding audio to Stream Decks, because we were actually literally bringing in, this was a really nice configuration. We had a vMix call going to Detroit, and the vMix call coming back from Detroit. We had a Zoom call coming in from another computer that fed that. This is before Zoom was integrated into vMix. So we had another computer that was feeding Zoom into that computer. And then we were feeding both Detroit and Murfreesboro, Tennessee, I believe, into the video wall that you can see behind Apostle Wayne T. Jackson. So we actually had Detroit, Atlanta, and Murfreesboro on the screen. So in Detroit, they had what was happening in Atlanta, which is Decatur, and Murfreesboro on the screen. In Murfreesboro, I believe they had a feed of what was happening in Atlanta, and I'm not sure if I can't remember if I was seeing them also the Detroit dual screen. So that was a complex configuration. One thing I like about my pastor is he's going to stretch your abilities to really get things going. And I really got stretched on that one. And we're stretched again because we're doing a similar thing today. We will be going, starting today, we have a feed coming in from Zoom integration into vMix. We're doing a Zoom call from Ghana, Africa. And we're also splitting it to the video wall. And like I said, in these situations, you have to know how to do busing. That's one of those things that contact us on. But the house audio controls the audio back to us. We do not take the audio into our system. So we send the audio from our Zoom calls to the house. And the house, since the house mixes us, the house sends it back to us. And that's this configuration here. This is a Great Faith Ministries Detroit. This is the main setup. We're using 2 vMix. The dual screen vMix is primary stream. The one on the right, on the left, is the vMix secondary stream and recording. So if we go down for any situations, the primary crashes or we have to do an emergency reboot, which occasionally happens, I immediately switch our feed over to the secondary unit. And secondary, it has no graphics, so all the graphics, everything will disappear. But secondary is also used to monitor what's going on coming out of the primary vMix, because we do feed with that vMix. We feed the iMag, also known as the monitor screen, so they call that iMag. We feed iMag, we feed the Pro Presenter, we also receive back Pro Presenter. We just added the ability where Pro Presenter is being fed through external output. With the new vMix, you get, with vMix 27, you get 4 externals on the Pro and above, 4K and above. And so there we, as you can see, we have what's going on in different inputs. So I get returns back as well, and there I get a return back from the vMix in the studio, which I showed earlier, which is across. So we can integrate our vMixes across the board. This vMix machine has all the graphics for the ministry, and the other is Impact, so it really doesn't have any ministry stuff. So we use NDI to send the graphics back between it. So I literally log into this computer and put up our graphics when we have to do our pre-records. And then finally, this setup, before we started moving everything, I got rid of that windscreen. That's before this setup is prior to, before I really got, I think we were just getting set up. And so instead of 3 lights, it's only 2 now. I moved one of the lights up. 2 of the lights are now upstairs. But as you can see there, in this case, I was actually doing some editing, and I just wanted to take a quick picture. Those in-ear monitors are the ones that I use upstairs, which downstairs is a different setup. But again, it's a Samson audio. And so that is the setup down here I'm actually using right now. So when we moved upstairs, I just said, well, I never know. You never know when you may need to come back downstairs or do something. So I just basically left it set up. I left the switcher down here. I used to have a mixer setting right here. That mixer has been boxed up, and it was a Zoom mixer. That was part of the whole big production setup here before vMix really got a little bit more features. So I would use another mixer to submix everything and mix minus and do all that fun stuff. However, that mixer is upstairs now. It's been turned into the, depending on the job, either bring out and it's a multi-track recorder. So if it's a big job, we bring that mixer out. If it's a small job, we just bring out our little AMUS audio things, audio capture devices, or we bring out this nice little, the Tascam. And everything stays in cases. I recommend keeping your gear. Your gear is only as good as you keep it protected. So I have everything in cases. So if I need to grab something, I know where they're at. And that's pretty much my configuration here that I've used. And that's a lot of different configurations. You may know Stream Deck and X keys is really a big part. And I didn't point out the X key strip. I don't think I have a shot of that. There's actually an X key strip in Detroit. Let me bring that up again. Is right under the 2 Stream Decks. It's another X keys that controls everything that goes to the iMag. So that's the iMag controller strip. So it's on the blue buttons under the 2 Stream Decks. That's what controls what goes to the screen. So everything that vMix, all the shortcuts are set up in vMix. So if Apostle says, if they want to see, now they like seeing program. But every once in a while, I like sending a clean feed out there. I just push a button, sends a clean feed out through that external output. And now I may have to get another, depending on how many more of these events. Now, the 2 Stream Decks, one is primary computer. The other one on the right is secondary computer. So you can see the buttons are telling me that I'm in record. So those are the configurations that I use.
There you go, man. Well, thank you, Darnell, for going through the configuration and showing us the different types of workflows. So as Darnell has shared, there can be really elaborate workflows or simple workflows, right? You can have it as simple or as complicated as you need it to be for the type of stream that you're setting up. It's 12:31, but before we end, I do have a pro tip, but I also want to just walk over this real quick. So this is what I'm doing today. I just brought in my vMix Live from my vMix call, I should say, from my camera. So now if you look over, that's the monitor that I'm using for my 4K Magewell. That's what's coming through there. And then right in front of me, the camera that is using the other Magewell device. And both of those are USB into the PC. Now, normally you can also set up a capture device that embeds directly into the motherboard of the computer, and then you can do inputs that way as well. And so, but I just wanted to kind of give a quick high level of what's happening here. And then as you guys can see, I got Darnell right in front of me, right? So, and that's using vMix full screen out, and that's how I'm doing that. And so, and then we'll get to our pro tip of the day, the pro tip of the day. And I'm going to come back over and I'm going to give that pro tip, and then Darnell's going to give his pro tip, and then we're going to close the show.
Yeah, and I'm downloading the picture that I forgot to download so people can see it.
You said you're downloading it?
Yeah, I'm grabbing it now. I just got it. I'm going to put it in there so people can see what I'm talking about.
There you go. There you go. So,
all
right. So my pro tip is, I got a question a little while back, and it was about testing your live feed before you actually go live to the web. Inside of vMix, there's if you go into your streaming gear and where you configure your stream, you see three options. You have your first stream, your second stream, and your third stream. You can click on either one of those second or third options. Under the destination, if you click down, you'll find live LAN, and you can actually start the live LAN and click on the link that says view stream, and that will allow you to be able to view the stream live on live LAN without having to stream it out to the public yet, right? So this gives you an opportunity if you want to test in another, see how your audio is, see how your, stream is coming across quality wise. This way, if you need to make any adjustments prior to, you'll be able to make those adjustments before you go live. Because once you go live, obviously you're live. And so it's nothing else you could do to test or change or do anything. At that point, it's live, and you just got to go with what you have, right? And so because have had this question at multiple different times, I thought it would be worth sharing and showing with everybody. That's an option that you can do to test your live feed, is to do the live LAN. So that's my pro tip of the day.
All right. Hey, yeah, that is when I actually use when I'm testing my software now. In the scheduler, it has the ability to automate your stream, and I had to use that the other day. And I say, wow, let me. I wanted to test this, so I actually used that this week. And my pro tip is, here it comes. That is not a virus. Just to let you know, a lot of people who have Windows 10 machines may notice that you're getting this weird message on your screen saying a new journey with Windows. This lets you know that it's not a virus. Microsoft is having fun with people. They decided they're going to put this little pop-up. I thought my computer was literally updated to Windows 11, and it's a Windows 10 machine. And I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? And I was still broadcast streaming and everything was still running. So I rebooted the computer thinking there was something wrong. And then the next day I looked up and it's there again. So I lowered all my control software, which one day will show how BTV and Cashmere is controlled. And I saw that it was a popover. So when you see this message on the screen, don't get nervous. It happens to be just Microsoft having fun with you, saying, if you have Windows 10, you need to buy a new computer. That's basically what they're saying. They're saying you need to buy a new computer. So my response to Microsoft was, well, you can send me the money, and I have several computers here that are Windows 10. Since you want me to update them all, you can just send me the money to purchase new ones, and these computers start at around $3,000. So you just send me the money and I'll go gladly upgrade these computers. But at this time, I'm not giving you all, I'm not going to spend the amount of money that it would take. I literally have 3 machines that are broadcasting, that are streaming systems. And like I said, they're between $2,000 to $3,000 just to start. So, you can send the $10,000 and I'll gladly upgrade these machines for you.
There you go, man. That's how it works. And I'm laughing because that's just so funny. With all these upgrades and stuff, it's amazing how, software can conflict with other softwares that you may need. And it's definitely a tool. Obviously, there's a tool within vMix that I thought was going to be one of the coolest tools for Microsoft, which is to block Microsoft from making updates as long as vMix is open. And man, if you leave vMix open as long as, put it this way, if you leave vMix open for longer than 2 or 3 days, that's probably not the best option to check, because it will lock up your whole computer if that thing eventually does not update. So keep your updates as far as you can with Microsoft. That's my best recommendation. vMix may say something else, but I used to use that tool, and I stopped using it to be honest with you. Mainly on my machines that I leave open for a long period of time. Go ahead.
Right. One thing you can do is when you see the update icon, you can click on it, click on advanced, and schedule it. They allow you 1 30-day extension. I've done those. But it will brute force shut your vMix down. It will do it. And now in updates, we just had an update hit the ministry. It literally messed up all the drivers for Blackmagic capture card. So be aware that your drivers may also be affected by the update to vMix. So updates. Windows updates can affect your drivers. So you test before you stream. In my case, I was there in enough time yesterday to catch the fact that my Blackmagic quad card was not working, and I had to re-update the Blackmagic drivers. So keep a record of what drivers you have, because you have an older card. This is a third pro tip. If you have older capture cards, make sure you remember, keep your drivers handy in case this happens, because sometimes the new driver will not function with the older capture cards. But that's it for me.
There you go, and that's it for me. What you guys see is just me overlaying the live LAN. So it looks smaller than I thought it would, but I'm using NDI to bring it in from the other machine. But that's it for me, and we appreciate you guys for joining us today here at Streaming Maniacs. Hopefully you learned something about workflows, during this lunchtime live with us. But if you need help setting up a complex configuration, no matter what it is, you can reach out to us and we will help you through it. Of course, we won't do it for free, but everything that we talk about is free right here. So you can get it for free as much as you can right here. But if you do call us, we will be willing to help you to get your workflow set up. And we also offer support services so that way, if you ever run into a problem, we can help you with that as well. But thank you for watching. It is Michael and Darnell, the Streaming Maniacs.
See ya.